Hello everyone, my name is Carrie, and I am the creator of the Oral History Project, or OHP, for the Game of Thrones Winter is Coming browser game. The OHP consists of one-on-one interviews with members of the GoT community that either play or once played the game. Due to my previous role as a game chronicler, I had restrictions as to what could and could not be shared. But since I am no longer a part of that system, you can now hear the unedited versions of these recordings, with the sole exception of interviewee requested edits. The following recording is one of these interviews. I hope you enjoy it. Hi everyone, my name is Carrie, and I am interviewing Odin on October 16th, 2020 for the WiC Oral History Project. This interview is being conducted and recorded in a private Discord chat. The recording will be made available for anyone interested on the Black Dragons Discord in the Oral Histories channel. Thank you for joining me today, Odin.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
So I start out with the same question for everybody. How do you pronounce your in-game name, and why did you choose this name for yourself?
Odin, as in the Norse god, god of thunder.
Okay.
I started out the game honestly just because I enjoyed the Game of Thrones series, and it was clickbait for me. And my original name was the Northman on K40 because I was like, and I had my avatar was the crazy wildling Northman that teamed up with Jon Snow with the wild red hair.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know, and I was just a real fan of that whole like just being wild about it kind of thing. But once I reached a certain threshold, 300 million to be exact, I decided that I was no longer the Northman, that I was now Odin. And I changed my name, and I've been there ever since.
Okay. When did you start playing the game?
It was April of 2019, I think.
Okay.
It was in the spring. It was in the springtime. I really didn't play it the first month or so. It was like clickbait, but I got attacked by the faceless men, and I didn't appreciate it.
Okay.
So I started spending money.
And what made you first interested in playing the game? You said you liked Game of Thrones and all that. Was there anything else?
Well, I played chess. I'm a member of the chess club in my hometown.
Okay.
I did it. I was in the chess club in high school. So the strategy part of the game was very attractive to me. And also, I'm a fan of fighting games. I enjoy Street Fighter 5. Many fighting games are based on like a rock, paper, scissors principle.
Yes.
Rock, paper, scissors grab or whatever kind of thing. And I noticed the same principle at play in the mechanics of this game with, the troop types. And then there's an added dimension to it with the troop. You can saturate, you can have more troop types in one lane than the other. You know what I mean? Have, 10% up front, 60% on the back end, and then 30% bringing up. You can. There's just a lot to it, and it's fascinated me. I sit at my computer sometimes for hours and just attack rebel camps endlessly, and then I don't even do it for the chest. I just am crunching numbers and changing things and switching badges and just pushing the limits of my understanding of the game.
Wow. Okay. So you really are in it for the mechanics of it.
I try to be. It's very confusing for me.
Okay.
I do have help. I try to have, I call them the eggheads, but I don't mean it disparagingly.
Okay.
But I try to have a good relationship with the eggheads that have been in every alliance I've ever been in. And, eggheads meaning, the smart people, the people that actually run the test, right, that have, that have data, that don't just come at you and say, well, I think this. You know what I'm saying? They show you this is why this is better. You
Gotcha.
know, those, and most of those guys are free to play. The smartest guys and the smartest people in this game are the ones that spend the least amount of money, and that is my personal experience. I can't say that's a fact.
Mm. So, does anybody in real life play with you? Family, friends, anything like that?
My children have gotten my lore taken a few times.
Okay.
Other than that, no, you know, because I teach them. I sit my son on my lap and teach him, hey, you tack this and you press this and you do that and you do that. But
Oh, that's
you don't
funny.
tell him during siege, you know, you jump up to go to the restroom. Don't jump in daddy's chair and start clicking buttons.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you're passing on the essentials.
Yes.
Okay. That's great.
The important thing is you cannot be angry. You can't come back, even though you come back and you're like, what? And you just want to be furious, you know.
They're kids. They don't know better. Yeah.
Just like telling my wife, come get him, please.
It's all part of an additional obstacle for you to overcome.
Oh, yeah.
I had a friend that used to play, and he used to beg to get the Fool title because he wanted to play on hard mode. That's what he considered hard mode. It didn't matter that it was a neg title. He thought it was just hysterical. So, yeah. This is hard mode for you.
Once I completed my research to 100%, I think the full title is the research debuff. I just made it a point that I made it clear on kingdoms I was at that if I'm to receive any debuff, I would appreciate it if you would just research debuff me, because I don't have any more research to do, you know.
Oh, that's funny.
Those that want to see me punished, they get what they want, and I don't actually get punished. It's a win-win.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. So if I ever see you on a kingdom and you're bored, research debuff. Got it. So
yeah, I mean, just whatever.
So let's talk about, what was your first kingdom?
I was born on K40.
K40. Okay, so tell me about that.
K40. Well, you know, having an eyeball on the past as far as like my experience and knowing how been so many kingdoms, I view it differently as I did in the beginning. But for me, in the beginning, not knowing about the game, you know, K40 was the whole world. It was under a bubble, and the Faceless Men controlled K40.
Okay, so that was an alliance, the Faceless Men.
Yeah, they're no longer, they disbanded, but they had like K40 in a chokehold. Like everybody that was anybody, you know what I'm saying, of consequential power.
Yeah.
Just joined the Faceless Men. And of course, I didn't realize at the time, you know, what being a good king or a bad king or a good alliance or a bad alliance. I didn't know what that was.
Okay.
Because all I knew was what we were getting, or what we weren't getting, to be more precise. And we weren't getting titles. We weren't getting any share of level 5 farming nodes. We weren't even getting a concise, clear set of rules for the kingdom. It was just pretty much, we got KL and you don't, you know, blah, blah. That was it.
Okay.
And I was actually in the Faceless Men, and I didn't like what I saw. And then they treated somebody I liked poorly, and I went apeshit. I'm sorry, am I allowed to say that?
Sure.
I just went ham. I started spending like crazy on the game. It reached a point to where I was like 450 million, and the next account under me was like 100 million. It was. I just said, screw this. And I did that because they attacked me in the middle of the night when I was dealing with my child. And I came back and I was rallied on, and they lost all the rallies and whatever. But I still, they killed a shitload of royals. And at the time, I was the only account on this server with royals. So, but I didn't have people nobody would join me. Everybody was scared of the faceless men.
Okay.
So I started my own alliance. We called it the Horde, and we had 30 people.
All right.
And they were all the 30 people. We called ourselves the Island of Broken Toys because we were all the players that had been somehow wronged or felt wronged.
Okay.
And we came together and we declared that we were a no rules alliance, anything goes, and we declared war on the whole kingdom.
Oh, wow.
30 players. All of this is under the bubble.
So you basically had the run of the kingdom during that time then?
But not the crown. Because the faceless men, if nothing else, and I'll call him by name, McCrush he was the smartest person on that kingdom.
Okay.
I mean, he was just smart. You know, I opened up T4s. He opened up formation.
So he knew how to counter you.
Dude, I don't care how many T4s I have. If I'm facing 100 million T3s and he can change his formation and I can't.
Yeah.
Never. And here's the sad part. Back then, I was too naive to know that.
You didn't know about formations? Or
I didn't have it opened. I knew that there were formations and stuff, but I didn't put priority in to opening formations. My priority was in opening T4s and then completing the walls.
Oh, because at that time, walls still had viability.
Yes. Because I could sit back and just rest on my walls, and their T3s could do nothing.
Yeah.
Because I had T4 fortifications. So when I say I went for T4s, I went for T4s, like all of it.
Now I get it.
Yeah, and they went for formations and just built a whole army. I mean, it was like I felt like the T3s were nano robots just engulfing me. There was nothing I could. Serious, I would say that. But I always took my Horde. I congratulated the winner. And we went home. We went back to Winterfell.
Okay.
You know, that was that.
It was a learning experience.
Yeah, and to this day, I've always been like, you know, talk a little bit of crap, have some fun, you know, but when you lose, you know, take it on home.
Yeah, own it.
You know.
Own it and learn from it. So what happened after that? So you had your Horde. What changed?
Never took K40.
You never took K40?
It's the only kingdom I've ever been on other than the obvious K31 or K19. But, you know, I was briefly on K64 for like 2 days. That doesn't count. But in most kingdoms I've spent substantial time on, I've either installed the king or was the king.
Okay.
And except for the obvious exceptions.
Right.
But K4 I never did. I didn't beat the faceless men. Never could do it.
So what was your decision at that point, to leave the kingdom and go elsewhere, or what?
Our first KVK, we faced K39.
Okay.
And one of my favorite players to this day, Tywin Lannister.
Ah.
And the Night King. They had a really tight ship over there. They were really attack oriented and go at it.
Okay.
They chose troops and attack and you know that sort over certain types of research.
Okay.
So during that KVK, you know, I like to say that, you know, some accounts learned the value of research because I just was so far ahead of them on the research that they rallied me and I had no reinforcements, and it was terrible. I captured one of their lords. But anyway, you know, and that was that was our first KVK. Everybody was nice. Everybody was friendly. There was no drama.
Oh, that's nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's a big difference for a lot of people. The first KVK was a lot of smack talking for some.
And it wasn't a blowout either. I mean, it was nothing like that. I mean, we were at it, and it was just obvious that we were just two spent fighters, and the time just ran out. You know, and we had such a good time. The members of K38 expressed an interest to move into K40.
That's cool.
So then I was like, you know what? I was still in the horde then.
All right.
I was like, you know what? If anybody's taking K40, it's going to be me. You know, I am not even up with that. So I was like, look, any kingdom ports here, I'm declaring war on a rival if you think you're going to get KO in front of me. And then I'm serious.
You were a man on a mission. Okay.
You know, I never took K40. But I had drivers to make me grow the threat of invasion after our first KVK.
Gotcha.
That threat of invasion actually made me, I handed over my guild, which I'd like to say that the guild I'm in right now, Ecstasy, is the old Horde guild.
Oh, it's the old shell?
Yes, my old guild from way back in the day. Interesting.
Oh, that's cool.
I returned home, yes.
I like that.
But I handed over my guild to members that have been with me since day one. They took great care, and then I took off on adventures.
Okay.
My first adventure.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's talk about those adventures. Where'd you first go?
Well, our second KVK from K40 was K41.
Okay.
And that KVK was very different.
How so?
It was hate, it was drama, hate, it was toxic. It was just everything that I've, because like I said, my experience before was I could not stand the faceless men. I mean, every single siege, we were like, we're going to get them. And you go so hard and lose. And then and good game, crush, see you next siege. And it got to be automatic. That's just how it was. So that's what I know. My first KVK was no different. So the second one doing that was, because it was terrible. Anyway, after that KVK, I just joined the Faceless Men to shore up strength and to show invaders, that we're all together in this kingdom. But it got boring, really boring. And then I got a mail from somebody from K41 on Discord with some screenshots. And the screenshots were of the K41 Discord. And it had old World War II Nazi propaganda photos.
What?
In their Discord.
Okay. And
then they showed me another screenshot where the Duke of and I'm not going to call no names, but the Duke of the ruling alliance at that time had changed his in-game name to Hitler.
Oh, that's too far.
And then they changed the name of their alliance to the Gestapo. Now, later on, you find out there was an argument in Discord, and somebody was calling them Nazis and saying their rules were like Nazis. They were acting like the Gestapo. So they said that they posted all that in response to these accusations, and it was supposed to be a joke there.
Okay.
That all being said, at the very bottom of my Discord with those screenshots, it simply said, "Please help us."
So you went and helped.
I spent 90 scrolls.
Dude.
That night.
Whoa. Okay.
And I got a bad reputation on K41 to this day because of that. But nobody talks about why I went there. To this day, that is slowly just evaporated from the lore. All that people talk about now is I showed up, I kicked ass, I burned everybody out, I ruined the kingdom. But it's like, okay, well, let's talk about why I went there.
I gotcha.
And I've seen racism in this game. I've seen, of all levels. It is what it is. You know, and you can't run around and try to defend everybody. But to be honest with you, to get that Discord, that mail, and the fact that we just had a KVK against this kingdom, we just fought them.
Right.
And honestly beat their ass. So for one of their members, you know, to trust me enough, you get it?
Yeah, no, I do.
And it's not even somebody I know or knew. That's desperation.
Now,
you know,
what ended up happening?
You'll love this.
Okay.
I went to K41 alone. I rounded up local support.
Okay.
And I overthrew the king in one siege cycle.
So you finally became king.
In K41.
It's still your first kinging, though. That's good.
Yeah, but that didn't count. That's not. Do you want, okay, how about this? Because I know we're running a little long on time. Do you know what I'm most proud of?
What are you most proud of?
I actually quit the game after the whole fiasco on K41 as king. I quit.
What made you decide to quit? What specifically?
Because that was the most drama-filled, excruciating nightmare of chaos and trolling I have ever experienced in any game ever.
Oh, no.
Enough to make the number 34 fourth ranked player in the world log off for 3 months with no shields.
Oy. So what made you come back?
I clicked on it and they offered me a shit ton of stuff to come back. Like the thing, everybody's seen the thing, like if you step away from the game for whatever, you come back.
Yeah, the Return to Westeros style.
Yeah, whatever it was. But they offered me so much. And then because my account was at such a high level, everything, training grounds, for instance, everything was just stacking up. So,
Gotcha.
You know, I go to training grounds and look, and I got a million blue diamonds in training grounds.
Right, because you were out so long, but you were still ranked.
Yeah, exactly. And then I was still in the ranks, you know. So I was like, all right, let's give it a whirl. And what I found very crazy was as soon as I went active and my castle respawned,
yeah,
I got literally 20 messages. In-game, Discord, boom, 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 on server, off server, everywhere. And my question to this day is, how did they know so fast?
I don't know, because it's not like you get a notification when a friend suddenly comes back. That's very weird.
Yeah. And as soon as I came back, you know, I immediately started getting all the invitations to join an alliance, to do this, to do that. And I said right off the gate, I said, I wouldn't piss on this kingdom if it was on fire.
Okay.
I said, now that being said, I don't have scrolls to leave. So which one of y'all are going to let me join so I can quietly join alliance gifts until I leave? And everybody put their hand in the air. So that's what I did. I just joined the biggest alliance on that kingdom until the scrolls came back around for purchase. And then I deuced them out. And I went to, this is the part I want to talk about.
Okay.
I went to K25.
K25. Okay. Why did you go to K25?
I went to K25 because my friend Fearless, who messaged me when I was still under the bubble on K40 and guided me and taught me, you know, how to build an account.
Wait a minute. How did you know him if you were still under the bubble?
Discord.
Oh, you just met him through random Discord chat?
He messaged me. Because at the time, you have to keep in mind, at the time, I was the biggest account north of K31.
Okay. This
was a while ago.
Yes.
So he messaged me and had always been trying to lure me to come. So anyway, I went to join him because he has always been very gracious and kind and sharing with information and you know, just teaching me about the game, things that I didn't know.
Gotcha.
And I arrived on K25 It's funny, was asked in world chat what brings me to K25, and me being, who I am and having a good time. And you never know, I might be drinking while I'm playing. I told him in world chat, I have come to take King's Landing from Ethrix.
Oh boy.
And they laughed at me. They did. They laughed at me pretty hard, but I did it.
Oh boy. Okay, you were honest.
I did it, and we were all friends, and it was contentious at times, but for the most part, everybody stayed all friends. It was really good. I even went back to K25, to help NOS hold KL just a little bit longer, because Etherix had passed, and there was a lot of positive energy around the kingdom, to support him. So, it was nice, but I enjoyed going to a kingdom alone. I joined Seek and Destroy, SKD, and at the time they were the number 7th ranked alliance on K25. And the first thing we did is start looking at everybody's dragons. Started, all right, you need to combine these skills. You need to delete these. This is useless. Stop doing this. And we just got everybody in order. Okay. And with an alliance at 15 billion, facing, honestly, 2 alliances, both over 25 billion, because not only did we have to beat NOS, we had to beat its ally, WAL, double rallies and all.
Okay.
So, we just took our time, and it took maybe 2 months of just having everybody get to right dragons and get everything in order. And then I, at the same time, rehabbed my account because I was still fresh off the 3-month vacation. And then once I rehabbed my account, meaning, caught back up with everybody else.
Yeah, you had a bit of catching up to do at that point.
Yeah, it wasn't as difficult as I thought. But I did it. We did it. It was awesome. What I love the most is that upon winning KL, my first decree is that nothing changes.
Well, that made it simple.
All rules that are in place remain in place. The PO that is in place remains in place. Nothing changes. We want to add nothing.
Okay.
We can talk. We'll talk about, but because that K25 operated as a small council. So,
okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you hold KL, you do got a little bit more authority. So there were issues that our small council had that were probably going to be revisited because they're new KL holders. Understand?
Right.
So I didn't have to change any rules or do anything to affect change. All I had to do was capture KL. And the very alliances that were all in support of the rules and used to constantly message me in fear that I was going to somehow change rules, all of a sudden when we take over and change nothing, they're unhappy.
Why were they unhappy?
Because it's not about the rules; it's just about power.
Okay.
And that's a point I want to make real fast. This game is about power. That's it. And some people value power and having power over others. Some people have flexible incomes and can do more or whatever. But in the end, effective alliances are people that understand where their power is.
Okay.
And if your power is being a zero castle, then you be the best zero castle you can be. You drive Wells crazy, just constantly hitting you. The troops are returning. I'm sitting there. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get him. And then right at the last minute, he uses speed ups or he does something to disrupt me. You know what I'm saying? And then those troops get in there. You know how mad that makes a whale? So I say, if you're going to be a zero castle, be that kind of zero castle.
Be the aggressive, smart kind.
Yeah, just, you know what I'm saying? Know your power and use it.
Yes.
You know, and don't be a troll.
Okay. So
there's no purpose in it.
let's move on a little bit, because I want to say, so after this kingdom, you moved on, correct?
I went to K19.
Okay, what made you go to K19? Why'd you leave?
There were people that were getting drunk with power on K25, and I didn't like it, and I left. Like a thief in the night. I left while our alliance still held KL.
Okay.
And I went to K19 because they had just defended against ATD.
Yes.
Successfully. And honestly, at the time, I just wanted to go somewhere and soak up alliance gifts and take a break.
Who'd you end up joining when you were on K19?
RSI.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't like to join the big guys. The only time I've ever went to a kingdom and joined the big guys is when I went to BCL.
Gotcha.
But I just went to RSI. We had a good KVK there. I like Cartel. I like Napoleon. I think, you know, you don't stay king and run kingdoms as long as this guy has, and not, you know, he's effective, period. That cannot be argued with.
Yep, he is a good king.
You know, so I went there to honestly just see what it was about. I want to learn. I want to see other kingdoms. I want to see a kingdom that was run right. And I thought that K19 was that kingdom. I went there, and it was right, and I liked it. But then everybody was going to K31, and it was going to be a big fight, and it was going to be so exciting.
Oh, yes.
Everybody, and it was the build up, and I was just like, oh my God, here I come. And I spent the scrolls. It didn't cost that much, by the way.
Well, yeah, because you were moving in with all the other whales, so you would have been lower.
Exactly. So I was like, this is a piece of cake. Woohoo!
Yeah, you were on K19 for like a week or so, wasn't it?
Yeah, just one KVK. Not, you know, that was it. And then I got to K31. I poured it in. I was excited. I was like, all right, I'm here. And nothing happened.
Everybody stayed in their bubbles.
Well, I mean, people kept up with the Hoff buffs, and, you know, yes, everybody stayed in their bubble, that type of stuff. But it was just all a bunch of, you know, gang up dog pile rallies, which is fine. But when that's all it is every day. And I like, at that time, and I'm still a big fan, I like the siege. I like the siege part of the game.
Okay.
And there wasn't a whole lot of disputing of the castles. It was just dogfighting out in the trenches, I guess is a good way to put it.
Okay.
And, you know, that's fine. That's well and good. But they didn't even, and I'm not advocating rallying me, but they didn't even rally me. I'm sitting right there beside everybody else, filling rallies, doing this, doing that, you know. But I guess after you tank so many, you know, because BCL tanked so many rallies. I watched players tank so many rallies from the other side.
Right.
That it made me say, you know, why even bother? So I think.
Do you think there was a reason that they didn't rally you?
I don't know. I mean, I can't say. A couple of players on the server used to joke and send me messages and joke in the Discords and say, you know, move on, poured it in, and he attacked this person and he attacked that person, and Odin was sitting right beside him and he didn't do nothing. You know, I think it's just because I was the benefactor of there being better targets around.
Okay. So, how long did you end up staying there?
I stayed there for, I think, 2 KVK cycles. I realized that I was never going to be able to get the things that I need to get my account strong on K31.
Okay.
Because there's no competing with all of that. How am I supposed to be the CCS champion and get the badges I want if I'm filling somebody else's rallies.
Gotcha.
So that was it.
That makes sense. Where did you end up going then?
I left for K31 to back to K25.
Oh.
And then I was only there for a little while, and Salvo kicked my butt pretty good.
Yeah.
And my little 15 billion alliance that holds castles very well. We're not built for the type of war that was being put on us.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I can't. There's zero in my guys. That's the only thing. Okay, I'll just put it that way.
Gotcha.
So, I can't just sit back and let this happen. So we left out of there really fast. And I think we went to K67.
What
literally
did you choose?
To escape. I'm not even going to, I have no pride or shame about it. I mean, to escape, because we were in threat. We were getting zeroed.
What made you choose to go to 67?
Because FDH seemed pretty cool. They always seem to get invaded. They always seem to be. That kingdom always gets invaded.
It does, doesn't it?
and I thought to myself, you know what? Maybe they could use some help. And then, and at the time, there wasn't anything serious going on. So we ported there. We had talks with FDH that were very great, very productive.
Yeah, they're a fun group.
Yeah, but 4 hours after I ported there, Ironbreaker, Tywin Lannister, who else? Falcor. Basically, they were all BTS then, but basically a half a ton of BTS whales landed 4 hours after I got there.
Oh, and no.
I swear to God, I thought they were chasing me. I was like, fuck my life.
Oh, dude. So what was the situation in reality? What was the truth?
It was random. You know what I'm saying? I said to myself, I was like, I wonder if they're sitting over there going, oh shit, it's Odin. One of my alliance mates goes, probably not.
So what happened?
We left.
And you ended up going back home?
No, we went to K50, which is where I'm at now.
Okay. So you're on K50 now. Why'd you choose 50?
Because I wanted to get in a lower kingdom where there's not a lot going on that would cost anyone that chooses to, if anybody wants to come to K50 to zero me or to do anything, it's going to cost them some money because there aren't very many whales there. So
I gotcha.
I can't get any more honest than that. And also I was looking for a grouping for CCS that would be favorable to me and my alliance. Since we specialize in holding castles, I feel like that this event is tailor-made for me, along with the Winterfell event coming up.
No, I got you. No, that makes sense.
Yeah, so the problem is, if I get the wrong, like the very first CCS on K50, YM Spring was in my grouping, in his alliance, and I'm not going to beat that guy. I'm not. That's a whole other level.
Yes.
And I'm not even going to have any type of pretense on trying to fool myself or my alliance that it would be anything other than us getting crushed.
He is a beast. So yes, I can see that. All right.
And I felt like I was letting everybody down, but everybody was like, no, we agree.
No, it's a smart play. Not every fight you can win. It's choosing the right battles.
Right. So, but the very next one, we did very well. It was only us and one other alliance. I felt like it was a pretty even matchup. One whale to whale, I was stronger. But alliance to alliance, I think maybe they had a few more mid-sized players than we did.
Okay.
being small, being that my alliance is small, we typically just keep it in the castle. You know what I mean? Like, get everybody zeroed out. Everybody's troops are either in the castle or hiding somewhere.
Right.
And then, we just ride the clock. That's my philosophy, because the objective to the event is to be in the castle the longest, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not to zero everybody.
Well, if you're talking CCS, it is for some people because they want those badges. But otherwise, for like KVK and such, yeah.
Well, I get what you're saying. That is a way, but me speaking as like the rally leader.
Oh, for you, absolutely. Holding the castle is number one.
Yeah, I just go in there and I hold it. And then once I do the math and figure out, okay, we won, honestly, I don't like look at somebody and go, okay, let's zero these guys.
Gotcha.
I'm just like, I'm good with my gold badge. I'm the champion now. I'll take my gold badge and I'll break it into 4 purple ones and I'll spread it out on my equipment.
Yep, that's the smart way to go. Definitely maximize on the badge.
Yeah. Some of the guys in our last CCS battle on the opposing side, and I spoke with one guy who was really nice. He said that he said it was interesting that we chose to just keep our troops in the castle, because we never did pull our troops out of the castle even after we had won, obviously.
Okay.
And I said, well, they were safe in the castle. I said, if we disbanded, then you guys would eat them up as they were returning home. I said, my guys aren't built for that. So we're just going to stay here till the timer runs out, so you can't kill all these troops.
No, it's smart.
Well, that's what he said. He said, you know what? He says, most people your size would want to disband the castle and then port over here and start killing us in our hive. And I was like, well, that's not the objective. I want to win the event. I don't want to kill all your troops.
I gotcha. Well, he was probably definitely relieved to hear that.
Well, most people, they hear stories about me, and I have done and been in a lot of kingdoms, and they get a image or picture in their head, and my play style has evolved, and I'm no longer, I don't view myself as a predator.
Well, I remember not too long ago, somebody was like trying to threaten the kingdom that I was on previously and saying, oh, we're just going to get Odin to come over here and zero you all. And I'm just like, first of all, he's not going to travel here. And second of all, I don't think that's what he does, at least not anymore. So, but it's amazing. Like, you get a reputation and it does linger. But this is great because you're sharing a whole different perspective of who you are and the choices you've made, why you're playing the way you play.
Well, there are people out there that for the life of me hate my guts, and I can't figure out why. Even this last CCS, I got obscene mail from a player in the alliance that we beat, who was a player that I had dealt with in another kingdom, and he's still mad and bitter and hurling insults, and I'm just like, why?
Well, the game does bring out behaviors you wouldn't necessarily see in real life. It's that whole escapism thing. You're going to behave certain ways online necessarily that you wouldn't in real life. And
I just put the one of the titles on him, one of the unfriendly titles on him that comes with my victory.
Yes.
And
like useless guardsman or something?
Yeah, I just dropped that on him.
Okay.
The defeated have no say. I just dropped that on him.
Oh boy.
Message their duke, and I haven't looked back since then. As far as I know, that title is still sitting on that fella to this day.
I gotcha. So let's talk about how's your impression changed of the game over time?
Well, knowing more about the game now makes me realize, look back and realize that, what I did right and what I did wrong. I kind of wanted to play a game that was less team oriented. Does that make sense?
Could you elaborate?
Well, in this game, you need a team.
Oh, okay. It cut out and sounded like you said T, and I'm like, T oriented? I don't get that. Okay.
No, I just plugged in my charger, so you might have heard that click.
Okay, so team oriented. Yes, I get it.
Yeah, I like, not that I don't like having a team and being part of a team, but, you know, if you have other people on your team, then you have problems that are outside of your control.
That is very true.
And, like being that this is, you know, you spend money on this game, I don't want to lose because the guy beside me isn't as committed as I am.
That's a very common feeling. That's a lot of the reason why people do spend. It's that feeling of having that control when you're in this kind of group environment.
Yes, I kind of would have favored a game that was more like, if I feel like you've treated me unfairly and I want to come do something about it, I don't need to talk 10, 20 other people into doing it.
Right. It's your decision. You've made it.
And you could say, well, you could do that in this game. You could just go port over and raid a hive. No, you can't. When certain people are outside, the people that would be my targets are outside of solo range.
I gotcha.
So I need help. Now, I know one would argue that, you know, some of these tools that they're giving us are making it to where, you know, wells aren't safe. Okay, that's bullshit. Because I don't think, you know, it'll take some pretty big accounts to do damage to some of the wells that are out there now.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It would take, I mean, it's not just, like, I'll just speak on my behalf.
Okay.
If somebody wanted to come to K50 to do something, you know, because they felt a kind of way and they wanted to, like, attack me.
All right.
They would have to bring 5-6 people. All over, you know, $1 billion. Which is a lot of money.
They'd have to be that committed to whatever their intentions are to make it worth it for them.
Yeah, exactly. So with that in mind, with that scenario in mind, I kind of wish this was a game where I didn't have to depend on people so much to perform certain actions.
I gotcha.
You know, because there are just some players out there, and I guess some people would consider me on this list, that there's really nothing you can do. You know what I'm saying? So if you're angry and you want to do something, you've got to deal with that also.
Right. Okay. So what is your favorite part of the game? And I'm betting it's holding castles.
I like siege tactics a lot. I like the different ways to win. You know, you don't necessarily have to have the biggest and baddest account to win a siege. You know, if you apply certain tactics. I mean, yes, there are certain accounts that are just out of reach that you just can't do anything with. Like, I get that. I get it. But just because you are the biggest account on a server doesn't mean
you're safe. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that you can hold KL, because back to the team stuff we were speaking of.
Yeah.
If a good, strong alliance that has a lot of meat in the middle, you know what I'm saying? A lot of good 500 million to 900 million players, like a lot of them, you know, with like 1 or 2 adequate rally leaders.
Okay.
An alliance like that could decapitate, you know, a whale just by knocking out his support system.
Yes, because they do need that meat shield.
Yeah, rally the players that are filling his rallies.
So
you get it? Don't siege the castle. Let them take, you know, and these are tactics that if you are the weaker side, you know what I'm saying, if you're at a disadvantage,
right,
then you do not want to attack their strength. You attack their weakness. So don't rally the castle. Rally a couple of their players in the hive that are supporting the rally leader. You hit these guys, you put rallies on them one after the other, and you kind of test that player's intestinal fortitude. What are they going to do? Are they going to port out? Are they going to pull their troops out of KL, which I see a lot, and then port out, when the seconds of the rally, start to wane down? What are they going to do during the rally? Are they going to stand there and take it and take the reinforcements? I've seen players sit there, get loaded up with reinforcements, dragons and everything, and then 10 seconds before the rally is set to go, they would port north of the wall.
Why would they do that?
I don't know. But I'm just telling you, I've seen it. I've seen some crazy stuff in this game. You know what I mean? So my point is, don't assume that your opponent is always going to do the right thing or do the smart thing.
Right.
Apply pressure. And you just have to apply pressure in the correct spot. If they've got a well in KL and you can't break that rally, you know what I'm saying? Then
remove the support.
Try to get the people that are in that rally to pull their troops out. Hammer them. If their troops aren't protected, kill them. Just make it do something.
Okay. No, see, this is good. Not only are you sharing your experience, but you're teaching others. So thank you. Anybody that listens to this are going to be able to apply these tactics. Is there any other tactics that you'd like to share?
Yeah. When you're hunting, when you're actually out there, hunting other players, porting around, using precise teleports.
Okay.
I know that they create these castles that have these debuffs that radiate out from the castle.
Yes.
And you are at an advantage to surround the castle with all of your castles that are debuffing, and you do this to players that are being rallied. And I get it. So before anybody starts spitting this stuff out at me, all that aside.
Okay.
If you're going to raid a hive, do it 1 or 2 screens away, so they don't see you arrive.
Agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, they can still, I think 1 or 2 screens away. Well, you're not meaning squares. You're talking like literally like a screen over, right?
Like a screen over, not a square.
Okay, because I was going to say, like, that close, they're still going to hear the port in. But, yeah, that far away, they won't.
Yeah, and then use speed ups on your attacks. And here's what you do. Use a speed up in. You hit your target you've already picked out.
Okay.
Use speed ups to get them back home. And then the second you get them back home, precise teleport out of there. Okay? Now, you just did not a precise port. Do a random teleport out of there. You just do that because if you have more of those than anything else.
Right.
Then line up your next target in that same hive. Precise teleport to a different spot, and then repeat that same function. Do it again. And you say, well, why don't I just sit there and just pick out my targets? You give away your location with the attack.
No, that makes sense.
And if you're a whale of any size, you do not want some alliance to slap some tracking tag on your ass, rally you with an alt castle.
Yeah.
And they're tracking you. I know during KVK you can escape that by going to the other kingdom, but as soon as that rally ends on your screen, the person's saying, okay, they left kingdom. So they still tracked you. They know you left kingdom.
Right.
So if you're out there and your objective is to hunt and you don't want to fall victim to a tracking rally, then that's the way you do it.
Okay.
Because they can't ever. You're just popping around, and all of this stuff. People know this. I'm not saying that this is special. Nobody knows this stuff. I'm just trying to help.
No, this is great because some people don't. It doesn't occur to them. I've seen plenty of people attack and they don't have the mobility down. So
here's something I would like to say.
Yes, sir.
All of you zero castles out there, everybody that runs a zero castle, if your duty is to reinforce your rally leader or your alliance mate that's being rallied, okay? and you're sitting there in your hive and you're wondering, okay, if I drop my shield to reinforce, all of these other guys are going to zero me. What do? I'm going to tell you what you need to do.
Okay.
You need to port out of hive 3 or 4 screens away, not squares, not tiles, but screens, like get out of sight.
Right.
Okay. And then reinforce using speed ups. That way they cannot follow the lines back to your castle.
Okay.
So you have successfully reinforced your mate or filled your rally leader's rally or reinforced them in whatever, and you minimize your risk.
It gives you time to zero out.
Yes, exactly. And also I'm talking about like in a random situation where it's peacetime. You're in your kingdom. You're in a kingdom that fights a lot.
Right.
And then your enemy alliance ports in your hive. And as I said, it's peacetime and there's not really anybody around. And then they start running a rally on one of your guys that's not bubbled.
Okay.
And there's 4 or 5 big little mini whales sitting around. And everybody says, so, our mate's getting rallied. Let's reinforce him. As soon as you pop that bubble to reinforce, one of these other whales is going to zero you. This is what goes through players' mind. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? So they'll actually act like they're not online and not on bubble because they want to help, but they don't know how.
And there's also that fear paralysis that sets in.
Yeah.
The fear of failure, the fear of loss, because you put all that time into building the troops. And I'm just saying that there's a way, you can do it, just stay calm. Like I said, port away as a whale. Listen, I know when I follow the lines, I follow the arrows back to castles, I will capture your lord. Mm-hmm. You used to be able to track a person by holding their lord. Yeah, you can't anymore.
Yeah. Well, guess what you do now?
What?
I'll turn your lord loose and follow it back to you.
So it's basically a reverse tracking rally.
It can work that way.
That is, I like that actually. That's sneaky.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're giving their lord back to them, which is at a disadvantage too, because you say, well, you should have kept the lord. So it's
a useful thing, though. I mean, if you already have that one level 60 lord, you don't need an extra one, and you can use it to basically find those people that have done the random, 2-3 screens away.
Right. So just, castles out there, if you want to reinforce your mates and you're concerned about giving away your position, like you don't want to drop your bubble right in the center of the hive to reinforce one of your mates who's in the hive with you because they're going to zero you.
Right.
Port out of the hive. Take your time. Zero yourself out. You got 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Take your time. Zero yourself out. And then, like I said, use speed ups to reinforce your mate or to whatever you need to do. And then that way they can't follow those arrows back to you.
Sounds like a plan. So let's talk about a couple of things more and then we're going to wrap it up. What do you believe is the key to a successful alliance? Because you have been bouncing around a couple of different places. So what do you see has actually worked?
Well, CCS makes you have to govern an alliance differently now because it's advantageous for any alliance that's going into this event to have all the castle buffs in the entire kingdom.
Right.
Which require a level of cooperation. And if there's not cooperation, then there's going to be subjugation. Do you get it?
Yes.
So that has influenced kingdom dynamics. On my kingdom, I just told everyone fighters that want to join my alliance for the event are more than welcome, and we would appreciate it if everybody donates their castle buffs to the event, because when we win, we're going to donate the buffs for being the champion to the kingdom.
Yeah, you give the access back to those that supported you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But, kingdoms that are at war don't feel this way. They're not going to stop fighting each other. They don't give a shit.
Right.
You know, there are wars going on out there where players are being attacked while they're inside of certain events.
Right.
You know, like if you're in Treasure Seeker, for instance.
Yeah, and your Lord's out for that, and you're unbubbled because you're holding a Lord, or you got Frenzy, or Fervor rather. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the mechanic that needs to be corrected in the game. Yeah, the reports look great. It's a funny story. Ha ha ha. But if someone did that to a different type of player that wasn't as well financed, that player would potentially quit.
Yes.
I can see it. It's like, you know, to heck with this. Who needs this crap? You know, so that's definitely an area that needs to change.
Okay.
As far as running alliances, this is what I favor. In the television program, yes, there was a king. He's in King's Landing. He's the ruler of all the 7 kingdoms. That's great. But if the king is in King's Landing, then the Duke of Winterfell is the king of Winterfell.
Okay.
You get it?
Yep.
The king, you know, the Duke of Winterfell is only not in charge if the king is around. And since the king is always in King's Landing, then the way we approach it is this. If your alliance is strong enough to hold a castle, to siege a castle and to hold it, okay, then you make the rules for that castle. Farming, everything. We do not have farming rules in my kingdom. The only farming rule we have is do not attack nodes. That's it.
Okay.
You know, so we don't listen to any.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, you cut out there for a second.
Oh, it's okay. I had to go to the other side of the house, away from my computer, let my puppy in. We don't deal with any of that. We tell people that have complaints, you know, refer to your Duke. Like, as KL holders here, I'm not going to go up to Winterfell and tell them how to run their kingdom or how to run their castle.
Okay.
You get it?
Yes.
I mean, that's them. You're the Duke of that. That's you. You know, I don't care about your, you know, in other words, if you're the Duke of Winterfell and somebody from Erie is on one of your nodes, don't come and tell me about it.
Manage your own stuff.
Yeah, handle your own stuff.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Message that guy. And then if they have an issue, if they say a certain kind of way, we actually have provisions written in our rules for the next course of action. Knock them off your node.
Yep.
You know, and if they escalate after that, then we have provisions where, you know, you can declare war.
Okay.
You know, this stuff never happens in the kingdom, but we have these provisions in our rules.
Well, it's good to be safe, and you guys all have an understanding then, so it's less likely to happen.
Well, it's also a way for them to say, you know, to be able to say it's not my problem.
Right. There's also that.
You know, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to worry myself to death over your nodes. You know, not while I got a Discord full of people threatening me and saying they're going to invade my kingdom and zero all of you guys. I got other stuff to worry about.
There are priorities, yes.
You know, and these messages and mails do occur.
So I'm going to jump ahead a little bit more because we're over an hour now, and I want to get in a few more questions if you don't mind.
All right, read them off.
All right. So what is the proudest moment for you in the game?
Going to K25 by myself.
Okay.
And what I did with what SKD and what we all did together.
Okay. All right. Who do you admire in the game? Don't have to list everybody, but a few people. It's always nice.
Well, I once, before I got real big and was like spent money, I sent Burgle a message, a mail, and it told him he was my hero.
Virgil was
He
a
probably
beast
doesn't
before
even
he
remember
quit.
or
Yeah.
whatever. But this was like almost 18 months ago.
Yeah. Was this when he was over on K8?
Yes, this is like way back when. He was the first purple. I mean, maybe I didn't look and see others, but he was the first full gold glorious I had ever seen. And he had Jon Snow. And he had Jon Snow up there as his lord, gold Jon Snow. I was still like 30 million. I was like, you're my hero.
I get it. No, that makes sense. Something to aspire towards.
I've never told anybody that before, and if he listens to this and sends me a message teasing me, I am not going to be happy.
Oh, no, he'll be appreciative if he hears this.
Orion has always been very polite and generous.
Okay.
With his time and with his, he always responds whenever I message him. He's a very nice guy.
Okay.
Everyone at BCL was very let's put it this way. It's easier for me just to call out alliances than players. RSI and Cartel on K19 and NW1. They were all awesome to me. Everyone on K25, even the folks we were fighting against.
Okay.
I feel like excellent with them. The only folks that seem to still have issue with me are probably 40 and 41.
You can't make everybody happy.
Well, sometimes I get random mails from people that it'll start out with LOL. Says, so what did you do on K40 to make everybody hate you? And I'm just like, everybody hates me? What did I do?
Wow. Okay, that's a little extreme.
I know. It's it's an exaggeration, but it's a fun way to tell the story. But
I gotcha. All right. So, last two questions. Is there any special moment in the game that you remember that you have not mentioned so far that you would like to mention?
Yeah. Sometimes you're the bug, and sometimes you're the windshield.
Okay.
I've never encountered a Supermax account and never fought a player that I absolutely had no chance of beating until Salvo on K25. And he was in K64, I think. When I was on K19, we went against K64, I think, in one of the KVKs. Okay. That was when ABC was still there.
Right.
And I've seen Salvo, some of his stats and some of the battle reports from that KVK, and I was like, yeah, I'm right in there with him. Yeah, the mighty Salvo. Yeah, I'm right in there with him. And then 2 months later, the stats that I saw on K25 were incredible.
Yeah, they were nothing like what you previously saw.
Nothing. No, and I'll say it. I don't care. I left K31 whistling Dixie because I was about to go back to K25 and wreck and kick people's butts. I was so confident. I was like, yeah, woo, because there wasn't anybody there whose butt I hadn't kicked before. So let's go on back and kick some more butt. It was going to be epic. And Salvo squashed me like a bug on a windshield.
Oh my.
Yeah, I'd never seen stats like that except on K31. And I immediately messaged him and said, bro, congratulations. You're the second strongest account in GoT. I can't do nothing with you, bro. I'm taking my boys and going home if you'll let me, please.
Did he respond back?
Oh, yeah, him and I speak. He's very nice.
Very nice. Okay.
He's never said a bad word to me, and I've never said a bad word to him. I've cussed him out during the battles, but not you know, like anybody would do. I'm just like, oh, damn.
Yeah. The response of, oh, shit. Yes.
Oh, man. Yeah, but that's, honestly, I'm not even going to, my most memorable GoT moment was when Salvo kicked my butt.
Okay. So, last question. What is the one thing you most want people to remember about you?
I smoke weed. No. Am I gonna get in trouble? Can you put that in there?
Would you rather me edit that out?
No, you can leave it in there because all I do on Discord and with my alliance and during events is I have a lot of fun and chat with gifts and stuff like that, and it's always jokes about me. You know, whenever I cough when we're in voice, it's always like that's not the COVID-19 guys. I'm smoking.
Okay, so you want to be known for being a pothead. Got it.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That means that I'm not a dickhead. That you can talk to me, and if we're in a friendly event or whatever, and I capture your lord, just send me a message. I'll turn him loose. I'm not petty like that.
I love it.
Unless you're the whale. If you're the whale on
no, then you're keeping that. You're keeping that.
Yeah, and I got your lord. You better go on ahead and just kill him because I'm not giving him back.
Oh, that's so funny. I love it. Okay. Well, is there anything else? Oh my God, you have me coughing now because I'm laughing so hard. Holy. Mm-hmm. All right, drink of water there. Is there anything that we have not covered that you would like to include?
Really? I mean, there's some game mechanics I'd like to see change, but I'll talk to my VP about that.
Okay, yeah. No, I don't think this will necessarily broadcast that. So,
well, I do want to say this.
Yes.
I did this interview not because I really necessarily wanted to change any opinions of me. Mm-hmm. Because the people that know me, they know me.
Yeah.
And I'm good with that. I have a lot of friends in the game. And if you don't like me, then that's fine too. Either way. But I just want to put a plug in for K50. There was nobody in this kingdom when I arrived. And when I arrived, everybody left. Everybody that was there left. It's just like, and the response I got was that there are players out there who just do not want to be on a server with someone my size.
Okay.
Just period. That's just what it is. It's not me personally. It's just the account.
Okay.
But I've been working to repopulate this server. We've been doing well in events. We win with grace, and we lose with grace, and we win with humility. And I'm trying to build this kingdom up. So if anybody is out there that wants to come to a kingdom that has structure, that has war days, where you're not going to be looking over your shoulder worrying about WiC or any of these locust so-called merit hunting alliances, you don't have to worry about none of that.
Okay.
Because please come to K50. We're doing good things. We want good people.
All right, so they'll reach out to you if they're interested.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, I'm going to say thank you so much for your time, Odin, and I will talk to you on the Discord.
Yeah. Thank you.